the desktop mission, and then we're going to talk about next steps. First, an introduction. I am Momo. You may have remembered that from last week. I am your top dog. That means I lead the desk operations group. We'll get into more of what that means in a few minutes, but if you have any questions about this meeting or anything that's confusing about the application or anything, please email topdog@cat.pdx.edu or support@cat.pdx.edu. First, we'll talk about the CAT structure and teams and the desktop mission. We're going to take a short break then, and then Miss Britt is going to talk about professionalism, and then Deba will tell us more about the New World Hacker, and then we'll get into next steps. Before we get started with any of this, if you have questions, please contact somebody in the chat. They should have Ask Me Questions next to their name, just like last week. This meeting's a little more open, but if you could not interrupt the speakers, that would be great. And we'll try to answer your questions as quickly as we can. If you've had any issues filling out the application or you still need help with that, please let us know and contact somebody in chat and we will help you work through that. During the break, we're going to ask for more applications. I know there are some of you that still haven't turned them in, so please do so if you can as soon as possible. We need the information to create the accounts that you'll be using next week, so the sooner the better. So first, the CAT structure. You can see our org chart here. It starts out with Deba at the top and then all of the various teams. The disclaimer in here does tell you that the slides are not up to date, and that is true. The teams change pretty regularly, and there are a couple of new teams this year that aren't even on the chart, but these we'll get to them in a second. The first team and the most important team is the desk operations group. That's going to be you guys. You're our front desk volunteers, the first contact with users. The room you see here is normally where you'd be sitting in a pre-COVID world, but of course we're all going to be at our own desks at home now. The next team is the Human Interaction Support Specialist, or the HIS team. You're going to hear a lot of CAT acronyms tonight, nicknames. We do like our puns. His team includes the top dog, that's me, the scheduler, the Jonica Minion and Brett Minion, event scheduler, and various droids. We're here to help you. Anytime you have any issues on desk that you can't help the user with directly, then you escalate it up the chain and we will help them. We're not paying you guys, so we do get paid to deal with this and you don't. So if there's any issues, any difficult users, let us know right away and we'll take care of that. Next team is the Wintel team. They're led by John H. with Poe assisting him. They deal with all of the Windows clients and servers, and they are, you may have noticed they're doing a patching tonight. If you try to get into our Windows machines, they're currently patching them, so you might not be able to. Similarly, the Splatnix team, this is led by Nightfly. They support all of the Linux and Unix desktops, labs, and services, or servers. We have various flavors of Linux and Unix, as you can see. There's the networking team led by Catastrophe, the physical wiring for all of the machines. This is kind of a difficult team to get into because you have to be, you have to know a lot about networking to be trusted in the closets. You can do a lot of damage. We control all the packets coming in and out of the engineering building, and we maintain the network database. Next is the Syndicat team. This is led by Storm. The Syndicats maintain all of the websites the CAT uses. And related to that are the Copycats. It's the new team that's led by Caper. They're the CAT documentarians and they create all of the content for, most of the content for the websites. And their job is to keep modernizing it so you'll see the pages change as information changes. And I believe this is a picture of Caper inducting his first copy kitten. Next to the Communicats, this is another brand new team. This is our CAT social media team led by Stoic. He's really excited to get all of you social media wizards on his team, so poke him right away if you want to join this team. The next team are the video cats. This is led by Deba, and normally the cat creates a ton of content. We record all the brain dumps, we record a lot of meetings, cat events. Sometimes researchers will ask us to record their symposiums. MCAX has lots of events that we record. Um, Currently, we're not recording as much in person. It's done by Zoom, so the video cats have a different role right now. But please contact Deba if you're interested at all in video editing. He created the promo video that you may have seen that the cat posted just recently to get you guys to come to join. So yeah, they've got a lot of really cool software. Yeah, please feel free to contact him to join that team. And in a polite company, we call the pause team the printers and weird stuff team, led by P. Phelps. They manage all the printers, projectors, and miscellaneous hardware that doesn't fit into any of the other teams. And then, of course, we have John Jay, who's the every cat. He's in every team. And usually if there is something that, some problem that you're having that you can't figure out, he's probably already figured it out and he's just waiting for you to ask. So how do you join one of these teams? The first thing is to attend meetings. Almost all of the meetings are public or open to any cat. All of their hours are posted in their channels. You can also go to scratching hours to find out more about what they're working on, or join the Rocket Chat channel and just lurk and listen to what they're talking about, what the problems they have to deal with. You can always ask questions about anything. If something comes through the channel, you're like, I'm not really sure what that term means or what that problem is, they will answer it for you. And of course, they'll assign you a project. You can try it, break it, fix it, try it again, and of course, doing stuff that's useful to the team. You'll find out a lot more about teams when you start your mentor sessions next week. This is a really high level view of all of this stuff. So the next part is the desk cat mission. So this is what you guys are needed for. Your first job is to staff the desk and help users. And of course, we've always got all of the people that I just mentioned on all the teams helping you in the back. I say the back, but they're going to be at home, of course, like we all are right now. But they're available via all of our chat clients and Discord anytime you need some help. Your job will also be to pre-filter tickets in the SNOT queue. And this is one of the other CAT acronyms that I was talking about. This is our ticketing system. And your job is to basically make sure that the tickets that come in have enough information so that the teams can resolve the issues. When we talk about completing daily and weekly desk cat tickets, there are still a few daily tickets and a few weekly tickets, but not nearly the number we would normally have when we were in person. And of course, we aren't checking labs right now, but that may change if 325 opens up. There's still a lot of things that are kind of up in the air, but we will keep you in the loop when anything changes. But yeah, we normally have you check the labs, make sure that everything is working properly, the printers are happy, the users aren't destroying the equipment or eating food in the labs. And how do you help users? Through Zoom calls and over email, via our ticketing system, and in Rocket Chat. We still have virtual phone calls and face-to-face right now. They're not going to be at our front desk or calling you directly on the phone, but you'll be calling them back and we'll be face-to-face over Zoom. Most user problems can be solved by desk cats in the first line. If they're not, then of course you want to escalate them to the team appropriately, and you'll find more about that in the mentor sessions. So we just mentioned the recurring tickets, the daily and weekly tickets. We would check the labs for locked Windows sessions or printer errors. We'd find stuck print jobs and runaway processes. There are tickets for all of these things that we would normally be having you to check and then let us know if there's anything wrong, or just complete the ticket and say it's done. It's a little bit different right now, as are the odd jobs. You might be coming in earlier to help us rack servers or work on something in the cat. That's totally possible. It's just, it's up in the air right now for a lot of this. So where the cat desks normally are. So let's go back here really quick. This is a picture of the front desk, and that is the room that's outlined in red on the next slide. So if you can see, this is the hallway. There's the tutor lounge. This is the Penguin Lab and the Particle Lab. Behind the desk is Ms. Britt's office and Jonica's office. This is the zone bar that's mentioned in the slides a lot. This is where the FTEs work. Here's the CAT conference room, is 8205. This is the catacombs, which you'll find more about in the mentor sessions and early in your tenure here. And then just barely the corner, you can see Texas, just off the side of the catacombs. And that's where the student workers hang out, and where in normal times, you'd see a lot of cats doing homework and stuff back there. The kennel is the tiny little office up in the corner of 325. This is a spillover area if we have too many cats working in the front desk. There's one computer up there. You can kind of hang out in there and help out if the class is in session. Of course, you're not going to want to be interrupting them, but if they have any issues with the equipment up there, then you can help. And it's really for overflow staffing only, and it's rarely used, but it's good to know it's there. And you'll notice here, there's a little section. This is where the wall is normally stored, and there's a wall that separates this room into two rooms. And the cat is responsible for opening and shutting the wall depending on the class needs. So you may have to go up there and open the wall at some point in the future. Just be aware. And your desk shifts. So on every shift, of course, if we were in a normal world, then you'd be opening the door and unlocking it and putting the sign out and everything. You're still going to want to check in with the previous dogs on desk and look in the Rocket Chat back scroll to see what was happening during the previous shift. Of course, you're going to log into all of your tools that we're going to give you accounts for, and you'll be starting to use next week, or starting to log into next week during your mentor sessions. And then you're going to be looking for any tickets flagged desk cat or just not flagged at all because they just came in and we're not sure what it's for. You're going to be doing the pre-filtering for that. And then, of course, welcoming and assisting users as they arrive is not really happening right now. Desk cat tools that I just mentioned, this is really where you're going to be spending all of your time. The Rocket Chat is our chat client. It's just a text-based communication. This is where you're going to be communicating with most of the people in ZoneBA or in with the FTEs. If you need any help with anything, Discord is our virtual desk or virtual Texas. This is just a chat channel that you guys, or the voice chat that you guys can hang out in and talk to each other. It's meant to sort of replicate the situation where you'd be sitting next to each other on desks, so it's a little less formal than the Rocket Chat channels are, but it's important to stay in there and keep talking to each other while you're on desk. Of course, the SNOT ticketing system we talked about helps keeping track of tasks. And that's when you email support, that's where it ends up, is in that ticketing system. So we'll be looking for responses to users there. Crack is what we call our user account management tool. The desk cat manual is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. Like all of the processes are documented there. Copycats gave up most of their summer to update all of this, so it's looking amazing right now. There's all the old documentation has been cleared out of the way, so you get the latest results and the latest processes. And Spot is our scheduling tool. This is where you're going to be signing up for your desk shifts next week. And of course, we use email, pen and paper, and talking to your other cats to help you solve your problems. So we talk about a lot of this stuff as if we were still in the world where COVID wasn't a thing. But you need to be aware of them because at some point we are hopefully going to be back in the building and you're going to be teaching next year's cats all of these things. So, so it's important for us to still talk about them. Normally we would, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you would be checking the labs to make sure that everything's running, checking the printers to make sure they have the paper and that they have toner. And of course, yeah, enforcing lab policies if needed. Runaway checks are a big thing. You're still going to be checking any computer that users can log into for memory or CPU hogs or just like long-running processes. Sometimes they're okay. If somebody asks us, hey, I have this process that I need to run for 3 days, we say, yes, we'll set it up, we'll make a ticket for it, we'll watch it. And then of course, if it goes beyond that, then we let them know that we're gonna kill their process so we can free up those resources again. You are going to create a script to do this for you. And if you've never done any scripting before, don't worry, we've got your back. We will teach you how to do this. Another one of your main tools will be your cat Gmail account, affectionately called Kugel. This is totally different than your PSU Gmail account, which is also referred to as Poogle. You're going to get a lot of them. By the time we put all of the support emails into your account, we will help you set up filters so that they'll go to the various folders and you won't be overwhelmed with them, but you do get a lot of emails as a cat. When you're helping users, you are not expected to put up with rude or vulgar behavior. That is what HIS is paid for. And you're not expected to be involved in layer 8 or political situations. This is in the network stack, there are 7 layers. Layer 8 is the political layer, all of like the dean's office or any instructor that we've had issues with in the past that we're trying to accommodate. You're not expected to deal with that. Please send it to HIS and let us deal with it. And this is true if you have any issues. Mentors are going to describe this process for you next week. So methods for helping users, of course, we're talking to them via our Zoom meetings and over the phone and voicemail, email, and Rocket Chat and the Rocket client through so we have a pound support channel in Rocket that has a web interface, so users can come to us through the web interface and you'll be chatting with them as if they were in our chat client. And of course, Zoom meetings mentioned. Some advice, always answer computer action team. This is your name, how may I help you? And smile when you're talking so that the smile comes through in your voice. It just makes things go a little smoother for you. You're not going to be answering the phone unless you're sitting at the desk, but you still will be talking to people over the phone. You have to call them back to deal with issues. And of course, someday we'll be back in cat space again and you'll be answering the phone. Interacting with people is very valuable. This is a good skill for you to have, and we will teach you everything you need to know to do that. And of course, we expect you to be polite and understanding. A lot of our users there's a wide variety of technical savvy that come into our desk. Users who know everything and they just can't quite get some one thing working, or users who know nothing and expect you to fix everything because you're the IT wizard. We have all kinds, and we expect you to be polite and understanding for all of them. Of course, it's good advice to take notes, pen and paper or notepad. Always write down their name. Get their username. You're going to hear this over and over and over again. Always get their username. Anytime you mention a user, somebody's going to ask you what's their username. Pre-filter. Always try to get who, what, when, where, why, and how. It helps a lot to try to figure out what the user's trying to do and what's preventing them from doing it. And then of course we have a lot of tools for you that you'll learn how to use next week. And you'll have your other desk cats talking to you in Discord. You'll have Rocket Chat where you can talk to our FTEs and other users in Rocket. And of course, if you need to document something, then just make a proxy ticket for them. That'll be put into our ticketing system, and the various teams can work on it to help the user. So now I'm going to turn this over to Debra and Ms. Britt for their presentations. Before I do that though, Once again, I'd like you to remember to turn in your application if you haven't done so already. If you have any questions about that, or if you have any issues, please reach out in chat and somebody can contact you and help you resolve those.